Well, hi guys, I'm back. It's been a while. I'll be honest with you, it's because I just, I don't want to keep covering the same, like covering her over and over again. It's just everybody knows what to expect, right? So I'm thinking about doing other stuff on this channel. But I mean, I watch a lot of different content, so I mean, everything. But the reason that I got pulled out of the woodwork over this one, I've kind of been waiting to see if anybody else would talk about the situation. And maybe it's just me. Thinking about, Trisha's come out and said she's pregnant. And I'm going to show a couple videos today. She's also come out and said, she always does this thing. I think this is what she needs to understand is why she's so easy for people to do content on, or why she irritates so many people, is because it's like, even for the people that hope the best, maybe, because I mean, she does have some kind of skills about, like, she can be really funny. You know what I mean? She, as long as she's not poking fun at, mental illness or religion, or, like, she could be I think could be a really good content creator if she just would quit fucking lying. So the problem is that, she'll say things like, oh, I've not done anything in a year. I've not done anything in a year. And everybody keeps digging up my 8-year-old videos. Well, I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to give you maybe a theory that no one's thought about this pregnancy thing. I'm also going to show you a video that I don't think many people have seen. And I'm going to pull from Colby U today. He's only got 981 subs. I mean, this guy put together some really quick videos that are interesting to watch, but I'll let this play. And this is just going to highlight, that hypocrisy. I don't do anything crazy.
I've been in active therapy that's been working for my mental illness for the past year.
Thought I believed in therapy, but it helped so much. And I don't do it regularly now, but changed my life.
I haven't exhibited any of this behavior that happened to me at my lowest.
In today's video, saying, I feel like everything's okay, but there are just so much wrong going on right now.
I had already been changing, but the day I found out I was pregnant, whole new person.
Yeah, a baby changes everything and everyone, and
a baby changes everything and everyone. Okay, so there's that. This is leading somewhere, so don't worry. So at the end, pregnancy, it changes everyone. She deleted this off her TikTok. Apparently, she said this a few days ago, because she's got skin about as thick as a mosquito's ass. But whatever. So this is apparently what she had to say about someone. Of course, she probably did a video about her. Lord only knows.
Nobody asked for your opinion, you faceless whore.
Yeah, it calls her faceless whore. I feel sorry for your child. No, I mean, no, they're faceless whore. So there's that. Yeah, so this is typical Trisha. I'm a good person, and then I don't know, gets pulled into this stuff. Okay, now this is where it gets kind of interesting. That's just to prove that, whatever. She's always changing, but she never changes. But then this one, again, on Colby U's channel, I saw this video, and I'm going to give you kind of like what I see here, and you guys make your own assessment. But this is the Trisha ruined sunset time lapse on purpose. You'll notice at the very beginning, she says, oh, look, there's your camera. You're doing a time lapse. And then intentionally walks out the door and sticks her ass in front of the camera, and then acts like she didn't know she did it. I get the feeling that this woman intentionally, because I think Moses is probably kind of very like he's very monotone. He doesn't like overreact. He doesn't, he's not a content creator. Like, so Jason Nash, was doing videos with David Dobrik, so he was always kind of on, like, acting, like doing shit for the camera. But I swear to God, I get the feeling that she, like, is intentionally trying to see if she can get him to react or pissed off on camera. Because if you've gone through as many videos as I have, just that first initial video I did, if you haven't seen it, the first one on this channel, it's got like 16,000 views. That thing took me forever to make, because I had to watch so many different damn videos to put that thing together. But it was like she's trying to trigger someone. Good watch.
This is the dining area, which hopefully if our food comes, we can watch the sunset maybe. If not, we'll still have a pretty view. Oh my God, Moses got
got his time lapse on.
Oh my God, Moses got his time lapse on. I mean, can you see the camera sitting right here that she just calls out, that's sitting right there? Yeah, then watch what she does.
Wow.
She would have been fine right here. But instead, she intentionally steps over. She looks down at the damn camera and then steps in front of it. Watch.
Wow.
Looks over there at it and then keeps edging to the left.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Right on your time lapse. Did you show him the entrance too? That's like a really crazy sunset. Like those clouds look almost like heavenly.
Just wait till the sun is going to come under the clouds.
Ah.
I just think that's what's alarming about her is that the intentional malice. I mean, it's obvious, right?
Sorry, I ruined your time lapse.
No,
Not at all.
It's just a couple of frames.
And then calls it out again, like, oh, sorry, my butt's in your frame that I saw the camera sitting there. This woman's been vlogging for what, a damn decade, and you're going to tell me she doesn't know anything about camera placement? Listen, if she was my 78-year-old dad, okay, out trying to shoot, I don't know, a picnic, a family gathering or whatever, I would get my dad might, oops, there's a camera there. But this bitch has been pulling her camera out for a decade. And she don't know anything about, oh, there's a camera. Okay, all right then, and the people at Pizza Hut don't know how to put on pepperonis. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's the dumbest shit. Okay, now this is where we get a little weird, all right? This is his, and again, this has only been viewed like 1,800 times on, again, Colby Hughes. I'd go sub to this guy. He does really good little, these shorter videos. But I've got several. I just kind of pulled from him because he does a really good short, sweet. But this is where we're going to get into the pregnancy, right? And listen, and I mean this genuinely. I hope everything's on the up and up. She's done some sick and twisted shit, okay? But if she's faking a pregnancy, man, but god dang, then again, it's Trisha fucking Paytas. She's been a chicken nugget and had, has anybody heard anything else about her multiple identities in the last, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is? I mean, has that snapping finger, snapping head chick come out again? I haven't seen it. I don't know. She's still transgender? I don't think so. She's pregnant, so I don't know how that works. But here is let's watch this. This is interesting because he kind of goes through, and what he's done here is he's pulled up January 12th of 2022, finding out I'm pregnant. We had been trying since October of 2020. Okay, just follow the dates here, and then again, you guys decide.
And we're really hopefully excited to try.
Okay, now this is January the 14th, right? So this is 2 days later. Okay. This woman loves her mac and cheese, and we'll tell you something. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a Christian, and I don't apologize for that. I love my God, but that's could be a whole nother thing. Like write spells with me. Now all of a sudden she's a witch and showing her cauldrons and talking about her incantations, and then she gets pregnant, and all of a sudden she's talking about baptizing in church and God blessed us. And I mean, why not though? Really, she's already done this shit to, religious with the Israel stuff, and then infatuated with Jewish people, and hell, it's fun. Okay, but anyway, we're sticking with this. Okay, Rice Spells is January 14th.
You get pregnant this year. When's the next fertility update? Hopefully soon. You guys know when there is news to share, I will share it. Hopefully soon. There's nothing going on yet, but thank you so much for all the positivity. It can take up to 3 months after our first test. And obviously there's other things to get checked out, like sperm counts and just the next steps of where to go. And I really appreciate so much from the bottom of my heart, just everyone's like really nice words. And in my heart of hearts, I do believe that I will be a mother at some point. So thanks. And thanks guys for helping get prego soon. Thank you guys. Baby dust, manifesting it for everyone who wants it. Hi to Kat Izzy. I'm going to do
Okay. Now we're on the 19th. All right. Remember, this is now, what is this? 7 days? No, well, yeah, 7 days since the one that he showed at the very beginning where she's holding up the sticks that says she's pregnant. So this is a week later.
A fertility update tomorrow. A lot of people are asking about the baby making. I'm gonna do a fertility update tomorrow and kind of fill you guys in some more. Like, I feel like also my mind's been really consumed with fertility. I'm trying to make a baby. Like, it's kind of, I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow though. Different headspace, but I will give you guys an update because obviously it's part of the journey.
Okay. Part of the journey.
Intro.
And it's, what does she say or something?
I'm always open for fertility journey. We're definitely going to do fertility journey ones, food videos. Thank you.
She says she's going to do fertility journey videos. Okay, this is, and then this is the next day, the HSG test, my experience, our first step in fertility treatment.
Emily, thank you for the super chat. I'm so excited too. And like, if it doesn't happen this time, they say up to 3 months after the HSG test that you could get pregnant. So if it doesn't happen this time, I'm not giving up hope. Why? Adoption doesn't take long if you don't get an infant. I don't know the difference, but I really do want an infant. I really want that stage. I'm going to get so emotional. You know what it is? It's like, I just visualize being pregnant and having a baby so much. And I'm just like, you always talk about visualization, and it's just like, when's it going to happen? I'm ready. Like, I feel like I've worked on myself and worked on my place and worked on everything. And I'm like, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jeremiah. So I looked at, like,
if you saw, he just flashed back to where she posted, or she took the video on the 12th. And I mean, again, to be fair, is that could she have hid that video and, waited to tell Moses? I'll look for that one too, possibly during the video where I know she told him. But yeah, I think it's in here actually. But it's fucking Trisha Paytas, man. Like, it's literally, I don't know. It's like, what the hell?
Like, nurseries online I feel like that's kind of like makes the disappointment worse when you're not pregnant, but I have looked up nurseries online. I kind of like the traditional, like, we have been trying for 4 years, no pregnancy, but fertility treatments cost so much. I am so sorry. It's so awful. I truly feel like I don't know what we can do. Like, what can be done? I feel like I would love to run for, like, office just to change that. Like, that's just like, it just sucks. It just sucks that it does cost so much. I'm really sorry. I'm saying prayers. Miracles totally happen.
Well, you know what can lead to having a struggling is obesity. Watching your diet. I mean, if you found out all the chemicals that you ingest, I mean, I think maybe I'll do a video on that stuff. Blow your mind at the stuff that we eat that they sell in supermarkets. Even if you go to the fruit section and grab apples or cucumbers and I mean, telling you right now, there's a reason why 40 years ago, a 12-year-old girl looked like a 12-year-old girl and not like a 15-year-old girl. I mean, think about all the hormones that they put in these chickens and these cows with the milk that we drink. I mean, it has an impact on us. But anyway, that's another subject for another day.
I've been trying 7 years with no luck. And, I still have hope. I still, you hear people like 10 years later get pregnant and stuff. And
by the way, let's do quickly. That's another thing. She said she's been trying for 7 years. I mean, remember, this is when during that time she was with Jason Nash, who has publicly told her he didn't want any more kids. He told her he didn't want any more kids. So just imagine that. Okay, let's take her word for it. Imagine that this man has told you he doesn't want any more children, but you were trying behind his back to get pregnant, knowing he didn't want children. What if that relationship, didn't have as many issues and they stayed together? And then she goes and gets, I mean, what do you think that would have done to a relationship? And there are a lot, and I mean that's again another subject, another day I can cover. There, women. If you're watching this, women, you know that women do that shit. We know. You know them. I know them. I mean, even like, come on now. You know what I'm talking about. Women have done that shit. I've known women that have tried to do that shit and be like, oh, when they feel like their relationship's falling apart, I think I'm pregnant. You're still going to leave me? Like, come on now. Come on. And that shit needs to stop. But, you know, it is what it is.
Being a parent will complete you. Yeah, I know. But got pregnant after 3 years. Congratulations, Amy. That's so cool. I can't even imagine seeing that like pregnant. Like I visualize it. Hasn't come to fruition yet. You are glowing. Thank you. I just visualize already like middle of the night, my baby's crying. I'll just be like, what do you need? You know, I don't know. I'm not a parent, but that's my fantasy. That's my dream, right? That I see and I visualize. So I just would love, I honestly think I'll be that person that doesn't want anyone else to hold their baby. I'd be like, don't hold my baby, you know, like hopefully not.
Well, I mean, don't forget she goes live on TikTok whenever Moses tries to go take his shit. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, my God. And I'm gonna get into that.
Too crazy, but for everyone asking when you're starting IVF, it's something that we definitely I think there's a couple more steps we have to take. So after our HSG test, if it doesn't work for up to 3 months, to go back to the doctor, get Moses tested, see what they do for that. I don't even know what they do, like if something's wrong with him. And then not wrong, that's like that's like a bad terminology if something isn't working or something with him.
Remember, so at this point she's supposed to be 8 days pregnant. She's talking about all these steps they're going to have to go through in order to try and get. So I'm just saying, okay? I'm just
as far as like, trust me, it's working. I'm just saying like the baby juice. But again, I know I've had infertility issues, but again, good to get everyone checked out. And then if that looks good, then I think there's like an insemination process. And then if that doesn't work, there's the embryo process, IVF process, there's a surrogacy. So I think we have a couple more months before going even into that route because I'm just not so invasive. I'm really scared of it. I'm really, really scared of that. So I'm just praying every day. But you're going to be pregnant soon. From your words to God's ears, manifest it.
okay. She just kind of goes on in this one.
Really feel
the point is she's talking about
journey. Yeah, there's not much going on with it right now, but definitely the next steps for sure. I really appreciate you guys, by the way, just being interested and caring, giving advice and giving love and support. Like that really means a lot. I hope this kind of cleared up because I'm going to go ahead and go, but I hope this like answers some questions in short for about insurance. So
sorry, she just kind of goes on and on.
We did it. And obviously, if we have a success, we are going to share it with you guys. And I just pray, you know, by the way, shared their own infertility that they haven't been able to get pregnant and then they're pregnant. And
so again, I just found it interesting. He did a really good job of kind of time stamping that the days. Okay. So hang on. Okay. I'm just going to throw again this in. I told you guys I'll use her words. I don't need to make up any words, right? The last thing I'm going to leave you here with today is, again, I'll give you a theory that I have. Something that maybe people aren't thinking about, but that ran through my mind. I think it's worth saying why I'm doing this video, but this one is from Illuminati. Interesting. But he had posted this one where she put these compilations together where she's tried to trick men into impregnating her. It's not a very healthy thing to do. This is in a live stream posted just last month. Trisha shared that she had been trying to get pregnant for years and even took steps by going to a doctor to improve her chances. She states that even though she wanted to, she wasn't sure if her boyfriend at the time did. She's talking about Jason Nash. He's openly stated he didn't want any more kids. It's extremely concerning that without knowing that information, she went ahead and took active steps to conceive without her partner knowing. Again, women, come on. We know.
Partner knowing.
Remember the first doctor I went to because like I was trying to like get pregnant. Fertility doctors only want money. Yeah. So I was trying to get pregnant, but like Yeah, I was just like, how come I can't get pregnant? Like, I was basically with someone for years. I'm like, obviously, no precautions were taken. So I was like, oh, I should be pregnant, and I like was weird that I wasn't. And I really wanted to be. I don't know if he necessarily wanted to be, but anyways, I really wanted to be.
She says that I don't know if he wanted. I don't. God dang, that's fucking disturbing. Hang on. I don't know if he wanted to be, but I really wanted to be. So, to hell with what. And see, as a woman, this is where it really pisses me off. And again, is where if you're looking at it, I try to look at things from both sides, right? If you look at that kind of situation where a woman can do that crap and then she can go and get herself pregnant without even talking to the partner that she's supposed to be in a committed relationship with, and women go and do that stuff and then have a baby without the man's consent or not, whether he wants it or not. And then that man is held responsible for that child for 18 freaking years. Okay. You have to pay child support, do this and that. It's your responsibility. But on the flip side of that, if a woman gets pregnant, she wants to terminate that child. Well, a man has no say so in that either. He just has to go along. Something's screwed up in that system. And I'm as a woman, I'm here to say that to me, that's jacked up. Either a man has a say or he doesn't have a say. You know what I'm saying? Either like if a child's going to be his responsibility for 18 years, woman be damned whether she got permission or even had a conversation with him. If she does, he should be able to have a conversation. She should be able to have a conversation with him to say, we both did this. How do you feel? But whatever. And by the way, it's very smart. He put that right there in the center. That's great advertising. Very smart.
I don't know if he necessarily wanted to be, but anyways, I really wanted to be.
It's also concerning that she stated that she's been trying to get pregnant for the past 5 years.
I've had tests done for HSG, HG. There's like a test where they shoot liquid up there to see if it goes through, and like mine were pretty blocked. But there's always that miracle chance. But I've for the past 5 years have not been able to.
Because within those years, she dated 2 men that made it very clear that they did not want to have children.
That's where you take your kids when they're like 5 years old.
Oh my God, can we go? Can we have a kid so we can take her there?
I think it's closed. No, I don't want any more kids.
Are you kidding me?
Never.
It's not gonna happen.
Never gonna have any more kids.
I want a baby, but he doesn't.
In addition to this alarming confession, she previously admitted to Ethan Klein on their podcast Frenemies that she would trick guys into thinking she couldn't get pregnant so that they would unknowingly impregnate her. She even states that she tried this trick on Moses in the beginning of their relationship before he was even her husband.
Like he actually
I need to understand if you're with me on how this is not an 18-year-old idiot. Okay, listen, some 18-year-old girls, listen, moms, you need to have better conversations with them and let them know that's not some trickery to trick a dude into staying in a relationship with you. That's an 18-year commitment. You're responsible for another human being. Okay, that's not the route you want to take because you want Timmy to stay your boyfriend. Okay, this woman's fucking, what is she, like 32, 31 something years old, doing this shit, admitting this shit.
tries to get me pregnant. I don't have to trick him or anything. It's insane.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend tricking dudes.
I think I did in the past. I don't recommend it. But
really? What did you do?
I think I'd be like, yeah, I'm on birth control.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
It's fucked up, but girls do it. I'm just telling people out there.
That's illegal, I feel like.
It's not.
It's not. It should be.
It should be.
That's a terrible crime.
If a girl tells you to go on birth control, just don't believe her. Especially if you have money. Just don't believe her.
I mean, and again, I'm fair here. What she's saying is true. It is true. She's not. I mean, women do this where they'll try to trick a dude into getting pregnant. They do. I live in a town with a population of less than 10,000 people in the middle of Podunk, Tennessee, and I know girls that have done this.
You better put those pills in her mouth and watch her swallow them.
No, for real. Because the biggest one I used to tell people is yeah, I got the shot. I'm good for 3 years.
So I was only ever with women who were on birth control when people were like, I do not want to have a baby with that man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was broke, not going anywhere.
No one's gonna
I was like, she's on birth control.
Yeah, no one's gonna try and trick you back then.
Dude, I can't believe you did that. That's super scummy.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I've done way scummier things in the past.
Who did you do it with?
Oh my God, so many people.
You want to have babies with that many people?
Rich, like famous people that I slept with. I definitely was like trying to like.
Because you're
have a
like,
baby.
I just want that.
And remember the famous people that she's been with, and I mean, just the nonchalant, like bragging about it, like, oh, for sure. And I mean, that's another scary thing is like usually, like in my instance, what I said earlier, like I know young women that have done this before. It wasn't like 10 times, it was like with one guy that they'd been with for a while, and they got rough, and they were like, last ditch effort, which is horrifying again, but she's like, oh yeah, many times, when they get up my list, whoosh, you know what I'm saying?
That child support.
Oh yeah, for sure. Moses did not fall for my tricks though.
I just want that child support.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just want that child support. She's like, oh yeah, for sure. Not about the baby there, was it? That was about the money. Am I? Oh, well, let me hear that again.
I definitely was like trying to like.
Because you're like, baby. I just want that child support.
Oh yeah, for sure. Moses did not fall for my tricks though. He did not fall for my tricks. I think one time he asked me. I think I might when I was on like high or something. I was like, yeah, I have a shot. But he still pulled out. He's like, I don't trust this bitch. Not inside.
Stop.
But don't have to trick him. So you applaud me for that.
Consensual. I applaud nothing.
Consensual.
All right, play the video for Christ's sake.
She jokes that with Moses it's developed into being consensual, proving that she knew every other time that she did it with him and others that it wasn't. She even said recently that she wanted to trap a guy by getting pregnant and wished that she would have gone through with doing so, stating that there's nothing wrong with it.
To trap him, I feel.
So remember what she just say. This is a kid, but she doesn't understand why so many people like this. But look at how many views that she still gets. A lot of it. I think a lot of it is the fact that. Sorry, I think a lot of it is that. You ever watch like a God forbid a car accident, and how many people slow down to look over there to see if they can see something crazy going on, and then before you know it, the whole daggum 2-lane highway is to almost a crawl because so many people are rubbernecking. To me, that's Trisha Paytas, like in a lot of ways, and I think honestly she knows that. I know that she probably understands that most people watch her for the next outrageous thing she's going to do. To me, it could be some of that going on where she's scared to be normal because her content's really never been based on her being normal. But I said that to say, look at what the video did before where she talks about, how bad it was and it should be illegal and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And now we're here with this one, to me, the more recent one. And he just said she doesn't regret it.
I feel like people are always shocked when I say that, but yeah, damn, I wish I was always trying to get pregnant. I was like, let me just have this baby. Then you're always going to be in my life. I'm fucked up. I'm not speaking anything that's like a lot of girls don't do. Like this is a lot of girls. They make careers out of becoming baby mamas, and there ain't nothing wrong with it. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I wish I.
Now see, that's where she screwed. Like they made careers out of being baby mamas, and then she says there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah.
Would have, done
and then we have a huge portion of society that talks about, women don't need men, Miss Independent, what I mean, girl, go get your own bag, all this other shit. Then we got people like think like this, like, oh no, you trap a man so you can get that, child support. What? Oh no. Which is it?
Maybe it's not for the right reasons, but I do believe they eventually become good parents. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, I'm assuming most of them do love a child. I'm not a parent. I don't know. But I'm assuming once that child comes out, they do love them.
Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Okay. Wow. Okay. And do we remember this? Do you remember this not so long ago? Back in September. Well, this is leading somewhere, I promise. But just play a little bit of this, refresh your memory. You probably don't need it, but
I'm shaking. I am fucking shaking. I don't want to monetize this. I've been acting like everything's okay. But there are just so much wrong going on right now. They're doing, not only they're nothing to stop, but they have no sympathy, no remorse. This is not random people. This is people they know. They're just begging. If someone asks me to stop talking
if someone asked me to stop talking about them, I would stop. I mean, do we need to go back to the clip where Ethan Klein had asked her to stop talking about Gila, and she threw an actual hissy fit, cussed him out, told him basically they were trash, and then walked off the set?
About them. Never once has Ethan and Hila reached out to me about any of this. They never once asked me to stop, and now I'm just pleading.
They never once asked me to stop. I think that's the most egregious stuff. Is the how. And by the way, I don't really believe this shit either. I mean, I think this is what she does. The reason why is if you're this hysterical, this is what, again, what a lot of people would, she'd try to, I think, refer to it as like she had a, like, basically mental breakdown, panic attack, whatever you call it. You don't consciously think you need to straighten your hair. You know what I mean? You're not pulling out your ponytail to fix your hair in the middle of shit like this.
And their response is, you don't get to tell us what to do. I'm fucking.
Cut. Okay, let me make sure I want you to pay attention to that. Which when the camera immediately comes back on, the millisecond right before it starts to cut.
Having
an
actual breakdown.
Right before it. You can see that? Watch this. She looks down to see if it's got her face and hit record, and then all of a sudden it's, I'll show you one more time. Just pay attention. Am I on? Oh, yep, I'm on. Oh!
Having an actual breakdown.
Yep, breakdown. That's what she's just having a breakdown. Now, I want you to know, okay, this is where I'm going to get into a little legalese. Notice that she's now on here doing this, making this public. She publicly just said she had a mental breakdown. Right? She said it herself. Nobody said that. She just said she had a mental breakdown. And she's publishing this online.
How people are accusing me of lying. They don't believe Moses. They believe all victims except for fucking Trisha. No, I'm a fucking liar. I'm demanded to make a statement. Just letting everything.
Remember, this is the time when she tried to destroy basically the deceased teachers, like legacy, family's life, when she came out, made out throughout all those accusations, and they were lies. And then she also, she's a great person. Somebody asked her to stop talking about her. That's what, this was the response to this shit. And then that person came out and, this is, I think, all this, then that woman came out and said all that heat started going on Moses, remember?
Go, you can see it. I'm so conceited. I said I'm sorry. I said I'm done. I'm so fucking done. It doesn't help me anything.
Okay, I'm done with that shit. I mean, because she goes on and on and on. But this is another important part of this. Now, again, I'm highlighting this to show that I've recorded this. So many channels have recorded this. There's shit tons of videos on this. This cannot be erased from the internet, okay? So many people have done reaction videos on Trisha Paytas and took these highlights of these moments where she's lied about this and been hypocritical about this and made fun of this and acted like, I mean, again, if you're curious, that first video I did took me for freaking ever. There's tons of clips in there where she's made fun of people and disabilities, and I don't know if the religion one's in there, but I'm pretty sure like the Oliver acting like I think her acting like she's a chicken nugget and all that stuff. But we've all seen that. We've all got it downloaded. Okay. So just saying this, remember that it can't be erased. Okay. I do have a point, I promise.
Then it's so fucking scary.
Remember, it gets to these messages between them, right? So this is her messaging in that message thread with Ethan and Hilla about I'm begging and pleasuring. I think it's supposed to be pleading for the last time to never mention me in passing again. Moses is now being falsely accused of that R word. Can't freaking say on YouTube for whatever weird reason. Never mention her again in passing. Okay. I was that word as a child, and the family had no idea, and now they're getting harassed because you guys are allowing the subreddit to post his name. No, again, that's a provable lie. She's the first one that said his name. She said it on open air and like sent her fans. Basically, it felt like after his family. This is a provable lie. They're getting harassed because you guys are allowing the subreddit to post his name. She posted his name. I'm happy the frenemies was taken down. I was told inaccurate information. Look, I was told inaccurate information as I often misspoke on situations that I just believed without researching. She's the one that accused this. She's the one that said it personally happened to her, and that she's the one that reported it. And then I think she said it happened, and then somebody later on reported it, and then he was in trouble for it. But you would think that's something you might know. I had reported this as, I'd reported this as a teenager. There are reports of it. Okay. Have anybody seen them? Every single time you guys make jabs at me, the hate riles up. They have doxed his ex-wives. They are tweeting to Morley's dance company. All this stemming from the H3 subreddit, and you continue mocking at me. I have ceased talking about you, which is another lie. The girl has a lawyer to sue Moses. Even having it go to court will jeopardize his status in this country. Well, how's he in this country? On some kind of visa? Well, that's interesting because they did get married pretty quick. That's curious. Do you not see what is happening? I know you check the subreddit, blah, blah, blah. Why do you not talk to the sub? Okay. The point is this. What do you want to stop this? I will pay you every cent. This tries to make it about money. Some people have morals, man. They still do in this country, I'm proud to say. Some people can't be bought off, I don't know. It's not the fucking mafia. It's not funny anymore at all. Well, again, you should think about that shit. I mean, she's thrown more shade at people than anybody I've ever watched on YouTube. I mean, that's just the reality of it. She is pissed off and said more shit. And then she's like, oh, stop talking. Emails. And then the cops went to my mom's house questioning her about the stepdad 20 years ago. Like, what is this shit? So she's posting clips of you need to make a statement on that. Oh, make a statement on that stuff. You don't get to look. Now you don't get to tell me what I need to talk about. I've talked with his family. They were unaware of the report I made as a child. They want it to go away. You do not get to tell me how I handle my essay. This is FY, not a private chat, so don't assume you have the rights of privacy, and I will share the screenshots if necessary. Wow, I'm pleading for you. Just stop. Now, remember this because I'll try to find that one if it's not in here. I thought it was in here. It might not be in here. But there's those other DMs between them where he tells her that I think it's where she tells him to stop. Like, you don't get to tell us what to do. I'm pleading for you to stop. Yeah, please. We've seen these. Anything you want in writing is please. Okay, this is what's curious. All right. Okay, so I think Ethan has learned his lesson. And I can do a whole nother video on Ethan because I think Ethan's sliding down the Trisha Paytas slope. I mean, I'm trying to do the clickbait stuff and get attention and being outrageous and whatever. But that's a whole nother day. Because again, I told you guys, I'm going to be fair. I'm not riding the damn shaft of anybody to win any favoritism. I'm going to be equally. If I say some shit, I'm going to say it. But right here it says, anything you want to say it in writing. Okay. Again, I need to think about this in a legal sense. And when he's learned his lesson, because she'll say something to him and then she'll act like it never happened. And that just reminds me of all that 5% stuff. Remember back in the day, the 5%, the 5%. But it also makes me think of what she's trying to do. And Ethan wants a record of it. Okay, he wants it in writing so he can do what he's doing right here. This is what happened in that conversation. You're not going to spin this. But I need you to think. They have this in writing. They have record of what happened here. Right? Right. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say about the situation. I don't know if there's a video I can find quickly. There may be one. Hang on. Okay, so what I've shown you so far basically was just to show you a refresher on some of the things that Trisha has done openly in public, or there's evidence of it, saying DMs back and forth with people. And there's so many people that cover her, there's no way to erase this stuff off the internet. it's there. Okay. And so now I'm going to do a little, I didn't, know much about Moses. I heard the rumors of like, is he really that into her? They both said that the initial mashup was just for views. It was just for that game. He said it, she said it, whatever. But I think it's important that I do this a little bit to at the end leave you with a thought I had that I wonder how you guys would feel about it. But anyway, so I'm borrowing this from the Petty Show, and you'll notice I also sub to these people. Sometimes I watch people that well, you see channels content, then I even sub to their channel. But she did a really good job. This is back September of last year on covering some things about him. And I've stopped it here a couple minutes in. There's no audio, so I don't know if she got hit. Had to remove the audio out of the first couple minutes, but this was his channel. Okay, he had 25,000 subs at this time, and like 2 years ago, this had 66,000 views. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, even if you look at even some of even Trisha's videos at this point, and people are, I think, kind of get fed up with some of her shit. He's right. He was right up there with her on some of them because people just watch as much as they used to. But this she did a good job at kind of going over kind of the controversies and kind of some of his history. And I think it's important to show you guys how I came to come to the conclusion of a possibility, right? So we're listening a little bit of this, but it also shows he wasn't scared of being in front of the camera. He was already a content creator, right? So we know content creators, a lot of times they'll do whatever they can to get them views, they're all about building their channel, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, here's something. But that this was his see or no audio, but this is him, 15,000 views on this one 4 years ago, 7.5, 2 years ago. We Are Walking Ocean. People have mocked him for, oh, I'm water. He thinks he's water. Stuff like whatever. I don't care about all that shit. I mean, there's people out in the world that think that married the damn New York train station. I could care less about all that shit. I really could. But I think it was more just to highlight that he was a content creator. So it's not like like I said before, he's very kind of muted, and he doesn't show a lot of emotions and stuff like that. But he was versed in doing videos, right? So yeah. So then these two, they meet. We'll get to the audio here now.
Okay, guys, as this drama with Moses, Trisha, and the Kleins have evolved over the past few months, some comments have popped up saying that it looks like Moses hates his family. I know, it sounds a bit extreme, but let's go through the facts, okay? From the beginning, when Trisha first mentioned Moses in the Bachelorette game where they met him, Hila immediately looked uncomfortable. And
now, again, I will give credit where credit's due, and I will have comments about people. Again, I'm not a post writer for any content creator, but I could imagine. Could you imagine if you were running a podcast with your husband or wife or whatever, and you had this person like in Trisha that could get the views because everybody, like I said, rubbernecks a car accident, but then mentions the fact of getting your brother on the show and the possibility of those two going out. I'd be fucking nervous too. You know what I mean?
And it's not hard to understand why Hila wasn't thrilled about this match. I mean, Trisha has a very explosive personality and a bad reputation and is constantly involved in drama, so they're definitely not the first person.
And remember what I said about before when during the time-lapse video where she, like, you could tell she intentionally stepped in front of that camera to see if she could get a reaction out of him. I swear to you, that is my thoughts on that. I mean, again, this woman has been holding the camera for 14 freaking years. You're going to tell me she said it was sitting there when she walked out the door. You don't think she's going to know where it is? That shit was intentional, and nobody can convince me otherwise. She put her ass in front of that damn camera lens to see if he would be pissed at her.
You would think of as a match for your own brother. Shortly after this episode of the podcast, when Trish and Moses started their relationship, Ethan and Hila quickly expressed that the two of them had, quote, broken the rules of the Bachelorette game because Trisha was not supposed to talk with the candidates unless it was through age 3. Some people even thought Trisha.
And see, now again, this is where we get into content creators and what people will do for views. I probably have, again, zero doubt that in the beginning these two were running that kind of scam, where they were posting shit and kind of like, oh, look, we're together and here we are. And then, you cut to the camera like Gila and kind of Ethan kind of freaking out about it, being like, what's going on? And they're not telling us anything and all that other stuff. Now, again, I have to be cautious here because I've seen Ethan trending in this, start to go down this path of doing whatever, kind of saying whatever to get views. I really mean that. But I wonder if, again, I have no doubt that they probably did that in the beginning just because they know what controversy does. Controversy will get those views.
Was dating Moses to make Ethan feel bad, and with everything happening with Moses now, some other people are saying that maybe that was Moses' reason to date Trisha too. As if that wasn't enough of a bad start, Moses was being super secretive and elusive about his relationship with his family.
And I will give him, like, Gila credit where credit is due. If you look at like social cues, like the look on her face, sometimes when some of this stuff happens, that doesn't look like an actor to me. It looks, to the person like that looks like seriously kind of confused and a little disturbed. Like, to me, I don't think this woman's put on an act, really. I really don't. And I could be wrong. And again, I'm separating her from Ethan at this point, and I don't think that she is. I mean, this is her brother, and people can say whatever they want to about families, but they are Israelis. I mean, they are a Jewish family, and it seems like that matters to them. And so when push comes to shove, she'll still support her. I would still think she would still support her brother, even if they had a rift or whatever. I think it would be a phone call and things could be okay. I really believe that in this situation. I don't think it would take much for them to be okay.
Being super secretive and elusive about his relationship with his family. And guys, I really think that things would have been really, really different if Moses has been upfront since the beginning. But alluding to the subject clearly only generated more tension within the family. And it's really sad, but at this point in time, the relationship with Moses and his extended family looks like it's damaged to a point of no return. By the end of August 2021, people noticed that Moses and Gila had stopped following each other on Twitter. Ethan even said that Moses and Gila were no longer on speaking terms. Moses, talking on behalf of himself, said that it has been the Kleins who had blocked him on social media. Moses also tweeted several bold statements.
At this point, I can kind of understand that even Ethan had said on one of his podcasts, and again, if you guys need me to go back and fish this stuff out, where he told her to her face that she was a dangerous person to have as a friend because she would weaponize the information that she had on you. We've seen her do it, I don't know, 20 times, where like if she knows something about you, she'll slip out pieces of that information, like, well, I know this about you and I can tell people about your stuff. And like he brought that up in that podcast and during Frenemies and said, you will weaponize that stuff. She's like, oh, me? No, I wouldn't. He's like, you just did. And literally she had just done it. So I would think that after a minute, think about this. We know how obsessive she is. We know how controlling she is. You don't think that woman has access to that man's phone? She admitted that she finally got him to give her I could do a video on that shit too. Oh my God, that video when she was on Frenemies and brings up pictures that he sent to a woman, and she literally grabs her phone, hits a couple buttons, and immediately has them on her phone where she has screenshotted all these man's DMs. And he said, you can hear him off the camera saying she obsesses over them. Okay, so if I were in their situation, meaning the Kleins, I would be nervous too, to have them in a thread, even him in a thread, to try and have an open conversation with him or about concerns or anything like that, knowing that she's 2 inches away from his face and probably reading all of it. I would feel worried about saying anything to him. Honestly, I can totally get that.
Other things, he said that his family had thrashed him for going out with Trisha, and as he tweeted this type of stuff, many people tweeted at him incredulous that he was not trying to avoid the social media controversy. One person wrote to him, "This is your family."
Yeah, and that's so that again, remember, this is something I had to remember while watching this. So again, huge shout out to the Petty Show, because I didn't realize this, because again, I've done videos on Trisha. I really haven't covered too much of the Moses stuff, but it was interesting and opened my eyes to know that like he was being so vocal about this stuff in social media and online. So he wasn't being private about it. So again, remember who his wife is at this point. Stirring up controversy is a good thing. People want to watch the train wreck. They're rubbernecking the shit. They're looking at, they're looking for it. People like controversy. They do. Whatever reason, we're crazy. I don't know. But like, so him out there kind of stirring the pot, who is it? It shows you another side that he's not scared of airing out his dirty laundry. Now they're scared of dirty laundry being aired out about him. And she'll get to this about his exes. And that's when Trisha has the damn public meltdown and the crying fit. When it comes to somebody being public about him or her, then all of a sudden, they're committing a cardinal sin there and they need to be taken off to the damn burning crosses, apparently in Salem, whatever, but when it comes to those two, oh, hell, they can talk whatever shit they want to talk. And that's just, they're right, I guess. But so again, sum it up, showing that he's capable of doing it should show you, like, get a glimpse into his character. He's not scared to, to say negative shit about people out in the open.
Is making peace and trying to fix things outside social media not an option? I hate to see this affect your relationship with your sister. Other people were surprised by how bluntly and openly Moses was talking about his family, and some even thought that it was actually Trisha who was answering the tweets from Moses' account. In my opinion, it could have been.
Now, again, that's a theory, and I'll hit on that really quick. Could have been her, as vicious and as vile as some of those messages were? Could she have just grabbed the phone and be like, I'll answer? I mean, look at how she acted again on that podcast when maybe I'll bring that up. Yeah, I think I need to at this point. Hang on. Okay, so here it is. Here's that portion of the podcast where she brings up talking about Hila and says that, remember, let's go back to the beginning of the video when she says, somebody asked me not to talk about him. I'm going to talk about him. So remember, this is the portion where she says, can we get her on the podcast? And he's like, no, she's really upset that you make everybody feel like she hates you. I'll let her, again, use her own words. I'm not speaking for her. I'm going to let her speak for herself. And then everybody can watch the proverbial meltdown of Trisha Paytas when it comes to bringing up Hila. And remember, this is now her husband's sister. And we'll get to the point I'm going to make. I swear I'll get there. Sorry, I keep saying that shit. It bugs me when I watch other videos and people are like, what are you going to say? Get to the point.
Can we have Hila as a guest on our podcast?
No.
Why? Because people think like I hate.
See, can we get Hila as a guest on our podcast? Look at damn wearing her fucking sweater
as a guest on our
with the Jewish star on it and stuff, and that's why she's admitted to like fetishizing Jewish people, and it's just good Lord.
Podcast?
No.
Why? Because people think like I hate her or she doesn't like me or something. Like I feel like we need to have because you know what I mean? Like I like Hila so much.
She could sit in. Yeah, she could probably sit in.
You just said no. Now you're like,
just a snap judgment. She's busy. Don't talk about Hila.
And again, this is what I mean by and I will say this, like he did flip flop there. Again, I'm going to be fair here. Okay. He did flip flop. First off, she was like, hey, can we get her on? He's like, no. And then she says, I think I hate it because people think we have a lot of beef. And then he says, yeah. And then she's like, you just said no. And then I think the next thing he says, don't talk about her. Like, that kind of got ramped up by him. I'm going to be fair here in that. I mean, now she takes it to a different level, but again, I'm going to be fair, guys. I'm not going to, just because she drives me absolutely nuts, some of the shit she does. I'm going to be honest about what I see.
Because you know what I mean? Like I like Hila so much.
She could sit in, yeah. She could.
So he says, then she says, I like Hila. And then he says, oh, she could sit. Look, they made her name Elastic. I thought he had pulls at YouTube. You need to kind of fix the Hila, not Elastic. She could sit in. Yeah, she could. So then he goes, flips. And then Trisha calls him out and says, you just said no.
You just said no. Now you're like, okay,
just a snap judgment. She's busy. Don't talk about Hila. We're cutting this.
See, and then look, he immediately goes, see, come on now. He immediately goes, she's busy, and then says, don't talk about Hila, and then says, we're cutting this part out. Again, to her credit, which ain't easy for me to do, folks. Let's just make that clear. But I'm going to try my damnedest on this channel to be fucking just for real. She has said, can we invite her on? And then she says, I just hate it because people think we hate each other. And then he goes from no to yes, and then says, don't talk about her in a snappy kind of way. Now, she's not saying anything negative about her right now. And then says, we're going to cut this part. Now, I mean, that's already kind of coming with aggression. Just being fair about it.
Part out. She doesn't want to be talked about.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm serious. We have to cut this.
That's fucking crazy. Like, what's even the point? She doesn't want to be talked about.
Because she doesn't like that you're always bringing her up and saying how she doesn't like you and all this shit, because it's not true, and she finds it annoying because she doesn't want people to start thinking that like she doesn't actually like you.
Well, she doesn't.
Well,
she doesn't.
Well, whatever. Just
now, see, this is where there's so much that could be done in this conversation, where he kind of like came out, a little snippety snap, and kind of first he said she wouldn't, and then said she would, and said don't talk about her, we're gonna cut it. And then Trisha did her thing with like the eye roll, and well, that's just effing crazy, and then so again, these two dynamics, it's like it's strange.
Crazy. Like, what's even the point? She doesn't want to be talked about.
Because she does.
What's even the point? We don't want to be talking about. And then he brings up that she doesn't like it that you tell people she doesn't like you, whatever. Well, if you'll remember, she said at the very beginning that, well, can she come on here with us? I don't like that people don't think we like each other. Now, to be fair to Ethan's point, has Trisha said one thing one day and something else the next, or said something shitty about Hila one day and then comes on this podcast, and I was like, people don't act like we don't like one another. Was that because Trisha's gone off trash talking her for the last week? Oh, I know Trisha paid us enough for online content. I don't live in her house, but I know enough what she puts out online to know that's very plausible. So there is also the point where Ethan knows exactly what he might have just stepped into and said and spoke for his wife. And come on, married people out there, he might be trying to reel back in the fishing line. You know what I'm saying? He put that bobber way out there, and he can hear his wife's voice in his head like, don't you even say I'll even come close to doing it, or you nuts. And then, so he tries to backpedal, which in this person's world, we're about to see what happens.
Doesn't like that you're always bringing her up and saying how she doesn't like you and all this shit, because it's not true, and she finds it annoying because she doesn't want people to start thinking that like she doesn't actually like you.
Well, she doesn't.
Well,
she doesn't.
Well, whatever. Just cut it out then.
And then he said, well, she doesn't. She doesn't. Then he's like, well, we'll just cut it out then. Again, he should know her enough by now to know. But I can't imagine. I can imagine trying to date somebody you feel like you got to walk around on eggshells on. So, I mean, fuck, what do I know?
Shit, I'm serious.
I'll talk about it in mine. I don't care, because that's so bullshit. I'm going to stop talking about my personal life altogether then, too.
Okay, whatever.
And then turn the H3 podcast and boring, and it'll just go down the tubes and no one will care.
And then here we go with the spiral. And well, I'll talk about it on my podcast, because then I'll just, I won't talk about nothing about my personal life on H3. And then it'll become boring and just go down the tube. See, I mean, she goes from like, hey, I burnt the toast to the fucking kitchen's on fire and now the house is exploded. You know what I'm saying? It's like, good Lord.
Because you guys are not honest and open about shit. So.
Because you guys are not honest and open about shit. This is coming from a habitual liar who I love. But anyway.
You cut everything out that's personal. It's like, whatever. Wow, you can't even like mention her.
We mentioned her last episode. Because you know what? Leave it in.
No.
Every time.
No, don't.
You go,
care.
why does Eli?
No, he's like, okay, leave it in there. She's like, no, you don't. I swear. I mean, to me, it's like she just wants to say the opposite, whatever what the person says. I swear.
Hate me, and she's like, I don't hate her. It's super annoying. Why does she keep saying that?
And
why
it's causing text me. Like, just text me.
You.
Be like, hey, I don't hate you. You know what I mean? Like, but when she's like telling stuff about Moses,
because I always say,
I don't care.
Yeah, we should cut this. Let's just
like, but when she's like telling stuff about Moses, like, just
pay
text
attention to where this. Okay, so then he's like, don't cut it, and then he's like, all right, we're gonna have this conversation. he starts to talk to her. Think about what just happened. Then she brings up Moses and he turns and says, yep, we're going to cut it. So to think that, again, I can do a lot of videos on content creators. God, tell me down below what you want me to do. I can cover stuff on how fake streamers are and how they lie to their viewers and they're full of shit, to telling you about hidden underground damn cities or Egyptian culture and the hieroglyphics. Listen, I watch a lot of different. Look, on my downtime, sometimes I watch Dr. Disrespect. All right, he makes me fucking laugh. So, like, there's a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of different kind of stuff, but you'll see he'll mention Moses immediately. So we got to cut it out.
You
be like, hey, I don't hate you. You know what I mean? Like, but when she's like telling stuff about Moses,
because I always say.
I don't care.
See, when she's telling me stuff about Moses, is that what she said? I'm trying to.
Like, hey, I don't hate you. You know what I mean? Like, but when she's like telling stuff about Moses,
Because I always say.
I don't care.
But when she's telling you stuff about Moses, that don't make any sense.
You
be like, hey, I don't hate you. You know what I mean? Like, but when she's like telling stuff about Moses,
because I always say.
I don't care.
Yeah, we should cut this. Let's just move on.
No.
See, the minute she brings up Moses, like, yeah, we need to cut this and move on. Like, telling you stuff about Moses. So again, there's shit going on there. Oh, it's sliding up. So yeah, it's weird.
But like in general, like I'm telling you now, like she needs to text me and just be like, hey, I don't hate you, you know. But it's like she's telling Moses, like, oh, Trisha says this
I think
and that.
okay,
like,
this is all off the record.
She's telling Moses that Trisha says stuff like this and that. That's her brother. It's her brother. And I have been in this position before where I don't give a damn who my sister's husband is. Okay? I don't give a shit. If it came between me telling my sister how I feel, and listen, it's caused rift before with me and my sister, but I've told her the truth about how I felt about, a significant other. But she's my sister. So I'm going to tell her how I feel. I'm sure all you can relate. If it's between my sister and her spouse, I'm going to choose my sister, even if it causes us to have arguments or disagreements, because I love her and I'm just worried about her, even if I'm in the wrong. And hopefully your relationship is strong enough to say, listen, I appreciate your concern. I got this, moving on. But that's her brother. So her telling her brother things that Trisha has said about him, that's his sister trying to look out for him. We are talking about this one.
But I think she just really
chicken nugget over here. Remember?
Annoyed by the situation, and she just needs some time.
What's the situation that I said?
Not anything to do with you, with Moses.
What'd he do?
He is always. Honestly, it has nothing to do with you.
Okay,
and I don't want to get in the middle of it.
So
but it's between him and her.
But she literally brought me up because I was like, we were watching TikTok.
Let's see, he almost wanted to say something there. I'm sorry, I keep going back, but this is to me important stuff. So my other speaker's beeping. Where he says right here that it's between him and her, like it's between Hila and Moses that the situation is. Now, do I think that she probably throws kerosene on the damn fire? Oh, hell yeah, we're talking about her.
Honestly, it has nothing to do with you.
Okay,
and I don't want to get in the middle of it.
So
but it's between him and her.
But she literally brought me up because I was like, we were watching TikTok and I saw the thing being like at 1 a.m. in the morning. She was like, what are you telling Trisha? Like, why is she saying this stuff on the podcast? Like all this stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah, because she was irritated because you were like, I'm not inviting mom. And she was like, dude, why? Like, my mom doesn't need to see that. And I know, but then but it's like Moses.
Now, the eye rolls too. Here we go with the eye rolls. So he's actually getting into it. And listen to what she says. I was like 1 o'clock in the morning and I saw what she was saying. So again, I'm going to assume here, this is an assumption. I try to make very clear whenever I'm making an assumption or when I'm letting this mofo talk for themselves, that she probably sent a message to her brother. And like I told you, eyeballs over here is probably all up in them damn DMs. I'm wet. I could show you that thing too, where she literally whips out her phone and within 2 clicks, she's on his damn DMs where she screen grabbed him. Where she sees message that Hila sent to Moses talking about her saying she's not going to invite their parents. And I'm sure Hila had something to say to her brother about that.
Oh,
like
Yeah, because okay, she was irritated because you were like, I'm not inviting mom. And she was like, dude, why? Like, my mom doesn't need to see that. And I know, but then but it's like, Moses, why are you telling her that you're not close to us and that you're not close to your mom and you're not inviting your mom to the wedding?
See, and then she says, why are you telling her that you're not close to us, not close to your mom? Like, again, I don't think he would say that if, again, I'm going to feel like this dude's strange, not this, Moses is strange. I'm going to feel like, and you saw from the videos earlier where the ex had said, I showed y'all that, where the ex was saying that he really wasn't into families, that he just didn't like families in general, and that yeah, he had issues with his parents and stuff like that. But again, because of their, and this is my opinion, but I would believe because a lot to do with their like religious views, that they're usually Jewish people, whenever something happens internally in the family, it's like an Italian family. Okay, you keep it in the family. You don't air out your dirty laundry. It's like that in the South here too. I know some shit that goes on in my immediate family, and we just don't discuss it. Now, it's not the healthiest. As I've gotten older, I've even kind of spoke out against it. The stuff needs to be talked about because it just sits there and festers. Okay, but that's just how it is. Some family are like, listen, we need to keep this in the family. We need to keep it between us. And we know how this one is about keeping her mouth shut about any damn thing. Okay. This is not someone you tell a secret to. So I would see why, there would be an issue there if he's telling her their family issues and stuff, because I think Ethan and Gila both would know that the buck does not stop right here. The buck stops at the 2 million daggum views she gonna get on damn TikTok, or you know what I mean? Everybody gonna know. Trisha knows.
We talked about Moses on the podcast well before we started this one.
But it's not true.
And he's not public. You guys were talking about him and shit.
See, and here we go again. What are we talking about here? She says, you talked about Moses on the podcast well before, and then she says he's not public. The dude had a fucking YouTube channel. What do you mean not public? The dude had a YouTube channel. Hello?
Before we started this one.
But it's not true.
And he's not public. You guys were talking about him and shit. Whatever. It's
not public, but I just showed you earlier damn YouTube channel. Okay, anyway.
So fake, and that's why H3 is not what it was, because you guys are fake as fuck and cut things out.
Okay, you're
See, and then she immediately goes for the jugular. This is, again, I think this is true, Trisha. To me, this is true. When something sets her off or she doesn't like something, she will let the most disgusting low blows, jugular cuts come flying out of her mouth to say the most egregious thing she could possibly say to like try to hurt someone. She tries to hurt with her words, and she will say whatever is necessary to say the most egregious insults that she can say with whoever's the recipient of this, the vile vomit that she's projectiling out of her mouth right now.
You're like on a thing now. So.
I'm not. I just think it's so fake. It's so bullshit. It's like, oh, let's talk about everything with her life.
Now, she started out saying she wanted Gila to come on because she didn't like everybody not, thinking that they weren't getting along. He says no. And then she's like, well, and then when she says that, he's like, well, okay, maybe. Then she brings up Moses, is like, never fucking mind. Then says, well, Gila doesn't like you telling everybody, blah, blah, blah. And now she's got to the point, now we've escalated to the point where H3's a piece of shit. Nobody wants to watch you because you're fake. Like, okay, doesn't
not to be included, and I'm respecting her request.
Then I'm not talking about anything personal anymore.
Okay.
I won't talk about Moses. I won't talk about me. Like, it's just whatever. Who cares?
Should we? Well,
make it boring. Cut it. I haven't cut all of it. I literally couldn't care less. Let's just keep going.
Why are you so upset?
And then this mumble rap shit she does. Like, what?
Well,
make it boring. Cut it. I haven't cut all of it. I literally couldn't care less. Let's just keep going.
Why are you so upset?
It's just so bullshit. You guys are such bullshit. You guys are so fake, and it's like actually annoying.
Why?
This is such bullshit. You guys are so fake. Chicken nugget. She's a guy one day. She's married, pregnant the next. She has multiple personalities. And yet we've never seen them again. And we're going to bring up the word fake here. That's hilarious.
Why is it fake that Hila doesn't want?
Because you're like, don't get in the middle of it, but then it's also, I see that it's about me and that my name's brought up, and it's like, okay, if my name's being brought up.
It's not about you. It's between Hila and her brother. Why do you need to get involved in that dynamic? Just let them sort it out. How is that fake?
But now you're like, don't talk about Hila, even though we can talk about Moses,
She
we can
needs-
talk about everybody, we talk about
No,
like,
she
my
doesn't
family.
like that you every
talk about
episode
my
we have the
sister
same
on
conversation.
OnlyFans.
We have the same conversation every episode. When
I
you
didn't
say
even bring her up in
Hila
a bad
doesn't
way.
like me,
I didn't even bring her up in
Hila
a bad
doesn't
way.
ever say hi to
I was
me.
like, hey, can we have her as a guest? And then you're like, cut all that, actually. She doesn't want to be talked about, period. Oh, okay, she's too good for this podcast. All right, cool. I don't give a fuck.
No, because I know she does. She needs some time.
Okay, cool.
I'm away from all this.
Great.
And you go, I came in, you start off always by saying, I came in and Hila didn't greet me and she was super rude. And Hila's like, that's bullshit.
I totally didn't say that. When
You
did I
say
say
that
she
about
was
me
rude?
too.
See, and then here we go with the petty stuff. Again, I swear, I feel like this person needs to feel like she's the center of attention, whether it's negative or positive or whatever. I mean, I think we even saw a snippet of that whenever she stuck her ass in the front of that time-lapse camera. Like he's out here shooting this beautiful scene out here, and she's got to put her butt in it. Like, this person needs to be the center of attention, good or bad. Good or bad. So again, listen to what he said about when she comes in, the first thing out of her mouth is, well, you didn't greet me. What are they supposed to do? Get down on the damn knees and kiss the tops of your feet? What do you mean didn't greet you? You're going to be sitting down with them for the next whatever hour or two, however long these podcasts are. You didn't. Okay.
Great.
And you go, I came in, you start off always by saying, I came in and Hila didn't greet me and she was super rude. And Hila's like, that's bullshit.
I totally didn't say that. When
You
did I
say
say
that
she
about
was
me
rude?
too. And she goes, that's bullshit. I'm always nice to her. I like her.
Oh
The whole
my
thing
God.
is
First of all,
stupid.
never
And
said
people
that
are going to
she was rude
start,
to
and
me. I
she's,
never said she was rude to me ever.
you say she doesn't greet you nicely. Shit
I've
like
never
that.
said that about Hila ever. I've said that about you. I've never said that about Hila. Find that in the tape. Like, I hate when you say that stuff, just like last episode. when
You
you're like,
always
"Oh,
say it.
I
and
did tell you
it's
that.
See what she does there. I think again, try building my case here, where he just said that you say this, and then she was like, show me the tape. Okay, show me the tape. Well, this is when she's first walked in. The cameras aren't rolling. There is no tape. Now, rewind back to the beginning of this video where I showed you in that DM thread where he's like, whatever you need to say, put it in writing. He's learned from his time with her that he better have the damn camera on or some shit wrote down in a DM, because this one right here is going to say it never freaking happened. But what are you talking about?
It's
There
not
was a
true.
Britney episode and you never find it, and then you just glaze over it. You're like, you did say that. Show me where I said that in a video and anything. I never said that once about Hila. Like, that's bullshit. I hate when you put that shit in my mouth. Like, that's so stupid.
I feel like you always, you just did it now. You talk about how she doesn't like you. And Hila's like, I like her. I don't
didn't.
want
I
her you
said
to keep
rewind
saying
the
that.
fucking tapes. I said
'Cause
have her as a guest on because people think she doesn't like me and that I don't like her, and that's not true, and that's why I think she should be on. And then you're like, cut that. We can't talk about her. Oh, okay, she's too fucking good for this podcast. Cool, love that.
Well, see how see this massive leap. She just jumped over this damn candlestick holder, Hanukkah, I know what it is. But where she goes from saying that to saying that she's too good to be on here. He didn't say she said she was too good to be on here. He just said she want him talking about her. Like, then he just clarified, said she needed some space from it, and now here we're getting to DEFCON 11 now. We've got like she's amped her stuff up.
Bitch, I don't give a shit. Leave it. I don't care. Cut it all out. Who cares? I just keep on with this.
And see this mumble stuff she does? Like, I mean, she rambles on, and that's usually where you find the deepest insults and like the shit she'll say. Like, it's amazing to me.
I don't care. Like, I don't care, and that's why I'm not comfortable coming in this house because, like, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure how to respond because I feel like you're having
a. I said, let's just move on then.
an
We don't have
issue.
to talk about it anymore. You're the ones that talk about it.
Okay, let's move on. You want to move on?
For us, okay.
It's not like that.
Mhm.
You guys can chat
You
off
don't
the
talk
show.
about me, even though I'm on the fucking H3 podcast channel for you.
Then she says, let's just move. He says, thinks you're having a moment. I'm not having a moment. Then she says, move on. He's like, all right, cool, let's move on. Nope. We're talking about Trisha Paytas here. There's no moving on up in this world. Okay.
Guys,
Then she
getting
made us
You can chat off the show.
I thought it was gonna. I thought, okay, hey, they're gonna move on. Hell to the no. I told you, DEFCON 11.
even though I'm on the fucking H3 podcast channel for you guys, getting you guys more views overall.
I'm on the podcast getting more views for you. She ain't getting a fat check from it. I mean, she's doing this out of the kindness of her heart. Even though she bitched about 5% because of how much money that was. But yeah. Okay.
More subscribers overall. You guys were getting 300,000 views this summer, so fuck off. Oh, but I'm too good. Don't talk about me.
Now remember, we were started this off talking about this man's wife and bringing her on. Now we get to the real crux of the issue here. This woman took this conversation and turned it into the channel's crap without her. Look at how many views I get you. Look at how many subs I get you. They were talking about a family issue internally where she is dating this chick's brother. Okay. And now we've turned it into views and sub counts.
Even though you're on my fucking channel.
So you are taking credit for the renaissance of the H3 podcast.
For sure. You guys, of course, I saw it this summer. It was fucking tanking. But, and I'm on this, and people are more subscribing. People will say, I see it all the time. Not saying I'm the whatever, but people are like, I came here because of Trish. Like, I found it. Because, of course, I bring a new audience to this channel. So it's like, but I'm too good for it to be talked about, even though I'm on the fucking H3 podcast channel.
You're literally taking
this
something way outrageous.
Honestly. And then not in this house. Like, I feel uncomfortable coming here.
I don't know what to do because you're having like a moment.
I'm not. I'm like, honestly, can just move on from it. But like, I just hate people who think they're just too fucking good for shit.
It's not she's too.
Again, she says we can move on. I don't know. Is move on the MK Ultra word that takes her to again over the edge? Is the word move on what makes her not capable of moving on and flipping out? Because this is the second time she said move on, and look right there where I've paused it in her face. Okay, let's move on.
Good.
She has a fucking podcast. I just hate people who think they're just too fucking good for shit.
It's not she's too good.
She has a fucking, but like.
I don't know what to do because you're having like a moment.
I'm not. I'm like, honestly, can just move on from it. But like, I just hate people who think they're just too fucking good for shit.
It's not she's too good.
She has a fucking podcast. When you have a podcast, you're talked about. Your life's talked about. You guys talked about Moses and me. Well before we did this podcast, you guys talked about us. Never once asked me anything.
No, it's because you always make the same comment about her.
You asked me one thing this summer, or when Moses started dating. You never, but you guys talked about me.
I don't even know what you're on about.
Just all this shit.
She just doesn't want you.
She's
not too good.
No, wait a minute. She just jumped his ass because she said she read a message from Gila to Moses that where her name got brought up, and then she says that they don't ever talk about it. But you guys talk. Wait a minute. Sorry, I'm
podcast. You guys talked about us. Never once asked me anything.
No, it's because you always make the same comment about her.
Asked me one thing this summer, or when Moses started dating. You never, but you guys talked about me.
I don't even know what you're on about.
Just all this shit.
She just doesn't want you.
She's too
not too good.
Don't fucking mention my name. Meanwhile, you guys can talk about whoever you want. You guys talked about me all spring without
you can talk about whatever you want too. She just doesn't like that you always come on and make the same comment.
Podcast. She's not a fucking private figure. She has a podcast on this fucking
you guys
channel.
are family. It's different.
Remember, she just said that Moses wasn't a public figure, and Moses had a damn YouTube channel.
No, fuck off.
You're with her brother.
I won't come back here. Like, if you want me, I know you guys own that fucking building too, but like, I'm not gonna come back in this house because I'm so over it. She has a fucking podcast. She's a public
what about
figure.
The pizza
you guys
surprise?
Talk shit about us. Like, I'm so fucking over it,
dude. It's not like that.
But it is. You guys had free reign to talk about, especially me. You guys didn't even contact me. You guys were talking to Moses, but not me, and talked about me all spring. My relationship with Moses, all this stuff.
It's a family issue.
Okay.
It's between Moses and Hila.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Great.
Why don't you believe
and
that?
It was between me and Moses this spring, but you guys had a fucking chime in about, I don't like it. That's what she said.
And when Moses
was like, I don't like it.
When Moses asked me not to talk about it, we stopped talking about it.
You guys didn't.
Yes, we did.
Because at this point she flips out and winds up leaving. I'm trying to make this a little bit shorter.
I'm not gonna fucking.
She's not talking about you. She's having a conversation with her brother.
All right, cool. And then we'll just move on.
Yeah, I think we should move on. We have pizza on the way. You're just gonna forsake all the pizza.
I don't want to come back here for real, to the house because I don't feel comfortable. It's her house. I don't want to be in here.
You don't want to eat the pizza?
We can finish this episode, but I'm just telling you.
Are you still excited for the pizza or
right?
No?
Yeah, I can't wait.
See, now he's trying to change the subject. He's like, "Are you excited about the pizza?" She's like, "I don't want to come back over here ever again. I'm not comfortable in this house." She's like, then we can finish this. We can finish this episode. But basically, in her words, this should be their last one. She said she's never coming back. But they can finish the episode. He's like, "Are you not excited?" He's like, Hail Mary in here, a pizza. Okay, he's. I know it's usually with the football, but this is with the damn Domino's pizza apparently. Okay, so Hail Mary and with some pizza.
I'm still excited for the pizza. Can we move past this?
Okay, so again, that's just an example of the to show the inner workings. Like it was talked about, about what the issues were. He was trying to tell her it's between her brother and his wife and her brother, and that she just was upset to see Trisha saying that she wasn't even going to invite their parents, meaning Hila and Moses' parents, at his wedding. We know kind of about that. So there was all that shit going on. And this is where we get to the public shaming. Okay, her capability of trying to shame people publicly. What he says about she weaponizes information, which again I could see drive a wedge in a family relationship. If you have her, doing what she does, just throw that stuff in your face, and we're gonna see it in real time. Remember, this is all video evidence. It's all her words. It's all what she did.
Turned out fine. Having 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays ain't a bad thing.
You saying turned out fine? I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god, look who's talking.
Hey, I would never say I turned out fine.
The most dysfunctional family.
I literally would never say I turned out fine, even though I did. I turned out okay. I'm functional.
Just because you make money doesn't mean
you're
okay.
way crazier than me.
That's so not true.
No, but you're way crazier than me.
That's not true.
Bro, that's objectively true.
You hide it more, just like Mikey, who hides shit.
Oh, really?
It all gets brought to the surface.
I don't hide anything.
On.
I literally don't. You literally just said how honest I am, and you respect that about me.
But you hide the crazy, is what I'm saying. Yeah, you share a lot.
I don't hide.
Now what? She says, I don't hide the crazy. Watch her immediately throw out something in his face. I mean, we're going to watch it.
You do hide the crazy.
I'm all out there with no fucking eyebrows and everything.
You were into pills. You never talk about that you were a pill addict for a minute.
See, right there, bam, like a truckload of, would you have this person as your friend and tell them anything in confidence? And then the beginning of a podcast, look at his face right now. She says, well, you were into pills. You were a pill addict. Like, truck meet wall.
What?
Yeah, you said that. You said you were really into pills, and you don't talk about that.
Why do I need to talk about that?
Because that's being open. That you're judging me for being crazy, taking pills or whatever. Like I take pills or whatever. But you've done it too, and you're just not open about it.
I don't think that is a defining characteristic of who I am.
I think that is a big thing. That makes sense. Why? Because you're on medication now, and there's no shame or judgment in it. But like, hey, if you're gonna shame me for being off meds, you should say, hey, I'm on meds.
I'm not shaming you for being off meds.
That's what it sounds like. You just call me crazy,
but here's
which
what you
means
do.
I'm off
You know
medication.
what you just did? You're trying to see. This is why you are such a dangerous person, especially to be close with, because you'll take something that I've told you and
look at her shake her head like what he just said was the most ridiculous.
You are such a dangerous
say. Like, look, I mean, wow.
Person, especially to be close with, because you'll take something that I've told you, you'll take something that somebody told you in confidence, and you'll use it, you'll weaponize it against them.
That's not true.
That's what you just did.
No,
and luckily for you, I don't care, and I'm okay with it. But you go, oh well, I told you an anecdote about how I used to take tramadol back in Israel when I was like bored in a dead end job, and you literally just weaponized that against me.
You called me crazy, knowing my history.
Bro, we always call you crazy. You're like upfront crazy.
But if you're gonna call me crazy, then I'm gonna say, hey, why don't you own up to what you've done? That also
doesn't make me crazy.
See how that's what, again, I would agree. That's kind of what makes, I would be worried of anybody that would think they could confide in her as a friend, because of what she has openly called herself things worse than that. And then they're having this back and forth, kind of funny, laughy, jokey conversation. And she's, bam, hits him with the truck and be like, well, you were a pill addict. And he's like, you just weaponized. I was like, oh, no, I didn't. I was just telling everybody your secrets. You told me to never tell. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make me a bad friend.
Okay, I'm joking around, and then you go, okay, so what do I have to weaponize against Ethan? Oh, he told me he used to take pills in Israel. I don't think he's ever said that. So here, I'm going to drop that on him.
You want me to weaponize you? Because I have things I could actually weaponize you with, and I don't.
About.
No.
See, then that was a threat. You want me to weaponize? I have things, like, again.
No, but I don't do it. There's certain things.
You just did it.
Moses says there's certain things about him I would never say.
And you just threatened me with doing it more. That's why you're so dangerous. You can't do that.
No, I didn't. Because
you do that to everybody.
I know personal things about you, and do I say it? No.
You literally just did.
That's not that personal, because you just call me crazy being off my medication.
Again, so now she gets to dictate what is personal, what isn't. Saying he was a pill addict, taking drugs, and then says that wasn't that personal. Well, I'd hate to see what she thinks is.
So therefore,
I didn't say anything about being off your medicine.
And then you asked me how.
I literally didn't mention being off your medicine.
Then you asked me.
I said you're crazier than me.
Oh, I said you're not open and honest about everything. You're like, yes, I am open. I'm like, are you though? And then you were pushing.
It's not that I'm hiding that I took pills. It's just you used it. It's not a
push somebody to the level of like saying this, and this, and then also be like, now your weapon.
The point is that all this is on video. Now I'm gonna get to the point. We have seen so much come from this person in public, on video, in messages, on her TikTok. So many people have uploaded it, shared it, commented about it. T channels. Me. They have this still on H3 podcast highlights. Almost 2 million views. It's all out there. All of it's out there. Now I'll play a little bit more of this that I thought I'd showed it. No, I paused it to go show you something else. Got a little sidetracked. So we're going to keep on with this just for a few more minutes.
Either of them, to be honest, and that wouldn't take the blame off of Moses. To sum it up, we can safely say that even if Moses isn't trying to hurt his family on purpose, his attitude towards them hasn't been the best. But why is he behaving this way to the people whom he's supposed to love the most? Well, according to some people, it's because he's just not a good person. Within the first few days of September, one of Moses' ex-girlfriends made a Q&A.
Now we're getting into the part that set her off for real and made, one of the many things. But this, I think this gives a little glimpse into what kind of person he can be.
On her Insta stories. And because Moses is a hot topic right now, most of the questions people asked her were about him. This girl's name is Daphne, and the things she shared about Moses changed many people's perspectives about him.
Where he says, she's like, he's not poor, but not wealthy. Now, if you remember back in the podcast, Trisha did 2 of these, and where she said that they just bought this $500,000, how many ever $1 million house or whatever it was, the one that they're in, which Trisha, so it's not cheap, and that they went on halves on it. Okay, that's what she said publicly, that they both paid for half of it. Is that true? I don't know. But I know she also said that both of their names are on the house. Now, that happened, to my knowledge, before they got married. So before they got married, they bought a house. I don't even care if it was after. It doesn't really matter. But they bought a house. His name is on it at this point, right? So he has legal rights to half that home. So if anything were ever to happen to them, he could either force her to sell it, and split the money, or he could force her to buy him out.
Because guys, according to Daphne, Moses is definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing. She started off by saying that Moses and her were in a relationship when Moses started seeing Trisha, which means that he cheated on her. When Daphne found out that he was cheating with Trisha, Moses said that his relationship with Trish was just a joke for the H3 podcast. Which is very cruel, by the way. And if it was a joke, it went way too far. But joke or not, Daphne said that Moses is 1000% a cheater. The Q&A kept going, and people then asked Daphne if she thought that Moses is...
Is Moses using Trisha? You tell me, someone living in Inglewood now lives in a mansion, and all he had to do was betray everyone he loved. Think about that.
Just using Trisha, and she suggested that it was clear to her that he is. After all, he betrayed his entire family and moved into a mansion with them. So he had definitely benefited from that relationship so far.
Now, this is like someone that has any kind of self-conscious issues about, thinking that they, look, looks like he's trying to do the Fabio thing or some shit.
As if that wasn't enough to make Moses look bad, Daphne also shared that a T channel had just told her that Moses had supposedly been married twice before, and that he had hid this from her during all of their relationship. Now, we don't know if this is actually true, but some people on Reddit shared images of what appears to be the legal record of one of the divorces. And guys, there's more. Another really interesting thing that Daphne revealed is that Moses has a strange view of families. When one person asked Daphne if she believes Moses is willingly trying to ruin his family, Daphne answered, "Oh, absolutely."
See, again, oh, absolutely. He even told me I need to move far, far away from my parents. I don't think it's his family issue. It's more like he has an issue with families in general.
He even told me I need to move far, far away from my parents. I don't think it's his family issue. It's more that he has an issue with families in general. This may explain why Moses appears to be so detached from everything happening with his sister and brother-in-law. But you know what? That's not even the worst thing. The worst is that according to Daphne, when she and Moses were being intimate, Moses removed their protection without their consent. This is a form of SA, and seriously, it should not be overlooked. After Daphne shared these Insta stories with her testimony, at least one other girl came forward and said that she had been through similar things with Moses. He also cheated on her, and he also did that thing without her consent. She had also felt the same vibe from Moses.
So now the second person's accused him of cheating and stealthing her. So both these women have said that during sex, he removed protection.
That he didn't like families. So after all of this, we can clearly
not like families that want to have babies. What would possibly make you not really like families but want to have babies?
See that behind Moses' appearance of a peaceful, artsy guy who's unable to cause any harm, there's plenty of proof that he has done some horrible things in the past. This brings us back to the recent cheating allegations against Moses. So as I told you, now we have testimonies of at least 2 ex-girlfriends that insist that Moses is the cheater. And as you may know, for the past few weeks, some rumors have been going around that Moses is cheating on Trisha. This began after a picture of Moses hanging out with a woman with black hair started circulating. To add up to the cheating rumors, on August 29th, 2021, Trisha uploaded a video where a Starbucks barista confused them with a girl he had supposedly seen Moses with. That girl had black hair, like the woman from the picture I told you about. Trisha went along with what the barista was saying, but they clearly...
That's where a random person at Starbucks being like, oh, yeah, you were with that one guy, right? Like, I mean, that's just weird.
I had no idea what was happening. So after this video was posted...
The stranger thing is like, she uploaded that. Like, she made that content. Like, someone that's possessive and controlling and paranoid would put that out there for the world to see. I don't know, is that to set a narrative or what's the agenda there?
Everyone started saying that Moses was cheating on Trisha with that girl and that the wedding would probably be called off soon. Moses addressed these cheating rumors in a reply he made to a tweet, and he wrote, "This is one of my best friends that is invited to my wedding. At this point, they're just making up lies in an attempt to upset us, but they're just losing credibility every day."
And to be fair, you know, that's a possibility. I mean, you know, we're going to go out here and rogue accusations because you in a picture with somebody walking away from you, so that means that you two are, hooking up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, and I don't think anybody would say that means she's, going to be stealth victim number 3.
To be honest, that's fair, because it's not like Moses and his friends are kissing or anything like that in the picture. Exactly. They're literally just walking together. However, based on the testimonies of his ex-girlfriends, Moses has a pattern of cheating and being mean, so it's not impossible at all that he will cheat on Trisha in the future. And if that happens, it will not be good, you guys. I can't even imagine how this could possibly become messier than it already is. So here's the summary about Moses. He has had zero consideration for his family so far, has a history of cheating and being mean to his exes, and he asked Trisha to marry him less than a year into their relationship. So yeah, his intentions to Trisha are definitely sus. Many people think that Moses will try to suck as much money as possible from them, and sadly, I can totally see that happening. Not that Trisha is precisely a victim here, of course. What many people really believe about this situation is that Moses and Trisha deserves each other.
Okay, and to that point, back it up here.
Think that Moses will try to suck as much money as...
All right, in closing, to give you my thoughts, set a possibility that I don't think I've heard anyone else say, and this is just possibility. Again, I'm just fling it out there. Again, no evidence of this except for what I've just showed you, or kind of how he is, how he's been, how he's treated women, things he's kind of done behind their backs, everything from the cheating to the stealthing, how Trisha is. So that's what I'm sum up. Could, again, this is just a theory, make that very clear. Could Moses be doing a 5-head play here and playing the long game? Let's just for a moment say Trisha is pregnant. She's pregnant with Moses's baby. Did they have a prenup? And even if they did, we know he's on the house. He's on the paperwork. What would be an easy way to ensure that you get a substantial amount of money from a person you're really not in love with, you've been using this whole time? And the quickest way to ensure that at least for the next 18 years, you could get support from them. For that amount of time without any, with the ability of winning. Well, let me throw a theory out there. Number one, well, you could have a child with them. Number two, you could provide evidence that you believe one of the parents is unfit or has some serious issues, inability to control their moods, self-admitted serious psychiatric problems, the habitual liar, person saying that your chicken nugget is not great or whatever, blah, blah. So again, I just thought about this. And again, I hope I'm wrong. Let me be clear about that. I hope I am dead wrong. I really mean that. And I hope that whatever reason Trisha decides to stop what she's doing and stop making a fool of herself and acting like she does on the internet, and she become a really good parent and not be as possessive of everyone and everything in her life. But because accumulatively enough, there's enough visual, video, text proof that if I were her, I'd be very careful about how much I give another person that could really challenge her ability to in being a fit parent. And I'll just say it like that, because if there came a time, this would be a long game with him. If you don't think, if tomorrow he called and apologized or reached out to his family, they wouldn't be there to help him raise a child, I think everybody's fooling themselves. He admitted in the beginning it was all for a show. He sent a message saying some pretty hateful things about her. Remember whenever she put her hands on him? She admitted that on an H3 podcast, and he took pictures of it. Remember what she did to Ethan, and Ethan said, if you have anything to say, put it in writing? Remember how many drama channels and reaction channels there are of all this video evidence that could never be wiped off the internet because we all have it? So, just saying, if there were nefarious reasons of stealthing someone and trying to get someone knocked up with the bank account that she has the ability to roll in, and it's having what the ex said of him moving from Inglewood to a mansion, willing to hurt everybody in his family in the process, there could be several reasons. But now they're having a baby together. So you just think about, at the end of the day, what would happen if something did happen in their relationship? Who would raise the child? And that's what all this is getting to. And, again, hope I'm wrong here. And maybe I'll give her something if she ever watches this, because we know she obsesses over people doing videos about her. Give her something to think about. Because He might very well have. You don't know until you're there, right? And with that, guys, put down in the comment section things you would want me to do. I'm not gonna do what a lot of people do, and God love them. Hey, do what you want to do with your channels, but I'm not gonna upload video on this chick every week or whatever. You see how long it's been since the last one. I do a lot of different stuff. I do some. Again, I watch a lot of different stuff. So if there's something you feel like there's a gap that needs to be filled, and you want me to try and cover some stuff, let me know. And with that, I'm going to end this one. Thank you guys for showing back up and hanging out. And just don't forget, please like and subscribe if you're watching this. So, like most YouTube channels, most people stop by, watch a video, and, bail the hell out. I got a couple hundred more subs I need to be able to go live. And then, we can all chit chat, because I'll tell you, some of the best information comes from a chat room. I know that from the last 4 years I've been doing behind the scenes. A lot of people in chat rooms can add to a story. If you go live and you don't have any kind of time limit, and it can turn into a pretty interesting conversation. So that again, thanks. Appreciate you coming and hanging out, and I will catch you next time. Have a great day, guys.